Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at Mad World Tarot. And we've got some rather sinister things to look at today. This is a Rob Shuter story, and I know he's kind of a gossip monger, but he does claim to be tapped right into Montecito, like directly into Montecito. And he's come out with quite a shocker. He claims that Harry is playing a long game and that getting his security reinstated in the UK is the first step to him moving back to the UK, basically with wife and kids, and setting up a fully functioning royal court to rival Prince William's. And those are rather chilling words. And I think we're going to be looking at this story over and over and over. So I'm going to just do a temperature check on it today. Rob Shuter says, and I'm quoting, Harry is playing a long game. It's not about a return to the family. It's about competing with them. And that sounds like treason to me, my uneducated mind. Obviously, Harry and Meghan are in a blind panic about the prospect of a King William coming along and stripping them of their titles and stopping whatever grifts they've got going. Obviously, also, there is an establishment plot that's backing this Operation Bring Has Been Home. Richard Eden was writing about that again in the Daily Mail today. He fingers certain members of the Labour government, and he also includes King Charles. So we're not going to look at the who's and the whys and the wherefores today. We are going to use the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, and we are just going to do a general reading, a Celtic cross from Prince Harry's point of view, what is going on. And in the next reading, I'm going to look at the damage that Harry might be doing to the British monarchy. Is this resentment, this bitterness, this envy, this sense of entitlement actually going to destroy the British monarchy? So what fun times we are having here at Mad World Tarot. Celtic Cross coming up. It is of course tarot for fun and entertainment. It is of course my opinion and speculation, and of course just energy that I read here, and disclaimer in the box below. So Celtic Cross, we're reading from Harry's point of view. We're going to ask what he's up to, what's his motive, where's it coming from, where's it going, his intentions basically, the outcome. Is he going to succeed in setting up this rival court? Okay, we've got flying cards now. And get his own way, get what he wants. He has been behaving very strangely in the US lately, and I would say ill-advised. Opinion polls in the UK are dead against Harry and Meghan coming back to the UK, coming back into the royal family. So the people are not in his side, but perhaps there are enough important people around who are supporting this for whatever nefarious reasons. Sorry, we've got the usual cut off top and bottom, but we'll scooch. I've got the Ace of Wands as our underlying energy. I cut myself off there midstream as well, but never mind. Ace of Wands in reverse as our underlying energy for this reading. The Ace of Wands is about new passions, new adventures, new creativity. It's a follow me energy, very much a follow me energy in these kinds of readings. Particularly, it's in reverse. This is unpopular. As I was saying, opinion polls dead against Harry and Meghan coming back, doing even the slightest bit of royaling. That really extreme negativity and hostility towards them. So Ace of Wands, not popular, not inspired, not energized, not something new that people are willing to get behind, which I find quite reassuring. That's not Harry's energy. That's, I think, public sentiment. As I say, I'm looking at public sentiment in the next one, but there isn't the support and the momentum behind this that Harry really needs to succeed in whatever evil plan he's cooked up, or he and Meghan and his team have cooked up to try and thwart King William before he's even king. That sits under all the cards, and that colours all of the cards. So even if you get hints that he is going to succeed, that's what's sitting underneath all of the cards, just so you know. Situation Harry is in right now, the pickle we are in, or he is in, and we are. 7 of Cups in reverse, and that's interesting. He's running out of options. He's faced with a rather cold, hard truth about life round about now. I think the situation with Pa isn't going to get any better. Pa's health. Prince William and Catherine are doing very well, very popular. Harry's endeavours in the United States have bombed completely, so have Meghan's. They're running out of road in the United States, clearly. There's a lot of speculation that they're running out of money too. And Castle's coming crashing down, which is interesting. That's not someone that's really confident. That's not someone who's doing well, rubbing their hands with glee and thinking, ha ha ha, I'm going to do this and it's all going to go brilliantly. That is someone more for me who has suddenly woken up and thought, oh my goodness, what have I done? How am I going to get myself out of this? What next? He's also apparently wanting to do this because he wants his kids brought up and educated in the UK. Richard Eden was full of that today in his piece, his opinion piece for the Daily Mail. So I think reality has hit. What is his particular problem? And his particular problem is Queen of Cups in reverse. And that's interesting because that's Mummy Diana always. And he had the Mummy Diana card. He thought he was Mummy Diana and everyone would love him eternally because of Mummy Diana. That card has failed. Like the race card has failed with Meghan. The Mummy Diana thing has failed. Prince William is really the one who is honouring his mother, following her lead, doing things that she would have been proud of. People are much more likely to see Mummy Diana in Prince William and the way he's raising his kids. He's going to start taking Prince George around to the homeless charity that Mummy Diana supported. Forgotten its name, sorry. But it's interesting that Harry's lost the thing that he thought would protect him forever and make him popular forever. And as I say, Prince William seems to have got that. And I think me and armchair psychologist here, all of Harry's issues revolve around who was the favourite son of Mummy Diana. That's the core wound, the childhood wound, in my opinion, inexpert opinion, not diagnosing. It comes down to that. This ridiculous rivalry, one-sided rivalry that's going on, comes down to that. And I do think Prince William understands it, which is why I think often I get quite sympathetic cards towards Harry, more sympathetic than perhaps us looking in at the situation would think is reasonable or rational. So what's driving this? What's down in the dark depths of Harry's soul? What's driving this? Not looking at establishment plot, I'm looking at the Tower in reverse. His whole world has collapsed, Harry. It has really collapsed. The life that he was promised in the United States has not worked out at all. He's being pimped out now to go make speeches to estate agents and things like that for small change, really, compared with the millions that he and Meghan thought that they would get for speeches when they first went to the United States. It's embarrassing, it's humiliating. His world is crashing down. He's being ridiculed, he's being booed, he's being mocked. Nobody could care less about anything he has to say. In the setting up a rival royal court, it's about how he wants to have high-level meetings and engagements and things like that on his own terms without being treated like a guest in his own country. So his ego has really been damaged. There are other things in that Tower card as well. I think there have been a series of shocks for him this year. First of all the Centre Bali stuff, the failure of his charities. Second of all, the failure of Meghan's endeavours. The Pa's health situation, which I believe personally is getting worse and worse. And I think fourth, the marriage, I think, is on its last legs, is absolutely on the rocks. This get his security back, get back into the UK, is how to put an entire continent and an entire ocean between himself and the claw and rebuild his life. He wants to rebuild his life. If it was the other way around, I would say he actually wants to tear the monarchy down. He is that bitter about his life. But I don't see it like that. I think that he himself is going through such a crisis behind the scenes that this is what's driving this Operation Bring Has Been Home, set up the rival court, look at me, aren't I important, be the most popular royal again. I think that's driving it. I'm looking at this little card as I'm saying that, the Three of Swords. So I think that's a lot of what's going on is driven by that. So what's his goal? His goal is, he's planning, there it is. He's planning for global conquest with that Two of Wands. He's planning new partnerships, new deals, new strategies. It's about planning, it's about preparing, it's about joint ventures with people. That Two of Wands, it is, we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse, so he doesn't have a vision, but he's hoping he can piggyback onto other visions, other new charities. We've heard he's been going around trying to find new charities to get together with, having trashed all the ones he's been involved with so far, in my opinion, of course. I think the allegedly sign needs to get switched on right now, thank you. But he wants deals, he wants new vision, he wants new energy, he wants new projects. And there he is in all his pomp and ceremony, gazing out at the world that he still thinks he's going to conquer. The energy, I have to say, from my perspective as an energy reader, is quite pitiful in this reading so far, in this Celtic cross. It's not making me worried for the royal family right now, but as I say, we're going to do a little check in the next reading and see what impact, if any, this desperation, this envy, this resentment is going to have, this panic, even with that Seven of Cups in reverse at the heart of this reading, this panic is going to have on the popularity of the British monarchy. It's in shaky ground right now. All things, all institutions are going through it at the moment. We're in great time of great change and uncertainty. Where's this all coming from? Past events, whatever we need to know about. Well, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and that's interesting. I think that is, strangely enough, Meghan's energy and her lifestyle brand and the Netflix show and all of that stuff, which has flopped spectacularly. I think there was a very great hope from Harry's perspective that was going to succeed and set her up in the United States, get her off his back, make her billions. It was always billions, not just millions. Set her up there independently, funding herself, and then he could go back to doing what he loves to do, pretending to be a hard-working royal, the most popular royal that ever royaled. That for me is just Meghan and her lifestyle brand. It's amazing how she's acquired that veneer of Queen of Pentacles energy since With Love Meghan aired, and she launched that ridiculous as ever brand, which she's still punting, even though her father is in hospital in the Philippines, and even though Netflix has clearly washed their hands of it. So what's next for Harry? We've got the security review underway. We've got possibility of being in the UK over Christmas and New Year. What's coming next? What news are we going to get? I read on all of that yesterday. I didn't get very good energy for Harry with all of that, mercifully. What's next? What's coming next? He's got decisions to make. With that Two of Pentacles, he doesn't have much in the bank. He doesn't have much in the tank as far as energy, resources, interest. With that Two of Pentacles, he's got to juggle. He's got to somehow do a balancing act, I would imagine, between his life in the United States and his life in the UK. He cannot move permanently back to the UK. He can move some of the time back to the UK and install the kids in schools and whatever he wants to do. But she's still there in the United States. She's not going to move back to the UK, not permanently anyway. She might show up if they roll out the red carpet and give her the keys to the kingdom. But she's not going to move back permanently. So he's got to somehow navigate between his life in the United States and his life in the UK. And he's, I would say, got some very difficult decisions to make about where he invests his time and his energy and his money and his efforts and whatever. I'm not getting King of Pentacles. I'm not getting someone out to bankroll, someone coming along and saying, here, darling boy, here's Buckingham Palace for you. No one else wants it, so you can have it. I'm being snarky. I think we need to lighten the energy today. So he's got some tricky terrain to navigate in the days and weeks and maybe months ahead as well. He doesn't have much of a team around him. He's got the usual suspects that we know about now, and we can spot them when we read their puff pieces in the media. But I don't think he's got much of a support system around him. We've got 2s on this tarot table. 2 2s. That's very early energy in this whole thing. I think this is one of those typical Parkle things where fanfare and they announce something and then there's no follow through. I'm getting a lot of announcing and trumpeting and ta-da, and then zero follow through with that 2 of Wands. He's waiting for someone else to give him the stuff like they set up in the Invictus Games for him. He's waiting for someone to do that again for him. Pa's running out of time, my opinion. Someone else has got to do it. Who could be bothered? The Labour government? It's going to make me laugh. His attitude to particularly Prince William and Prince William's court and success. 2 things. He wants to tie Prince William up in knots. This is the venom is coming out now with that 8 of Wands. He wants to make life so difficult for Prince William that Prince William doesn't have any room to maneuver, and that is, if Harry is entrenched, he's got Frogmore Cottage back, or Pa has given him Royal Lodge. Good luck with that, given what's going on right now with reviews of all these very dodgy royal property deals. What do they call them? Peppercorn rents and stuff like that. I mean, really. But he wants to basically cripple Prince William so that it's too late. Prince William can't act when he's king and take away titles and banish Harry and Meghan forever from the kingdom. That's what he wants. That's his attitude, is he wants to make life very difficult for William. And I'm also going to say, and this is going to come across as quite mean and nasty, and this is just an energy hit, I think, because it's a female figure that's tied up like that, I think he wants to stress Prince William about the Princess of Wales, and that's a very nasty thought. That's just my speculation. It's my opinion, and I could be doing a tremendous disservice to Prince Harry, and I do apologize if he is not thinking those thoughts at all, even in the darkest recesses of his mind, because it's like you've just moved to your new house, Forest Lodge, and now guess what? We're going to be living down the road, me and Meghan. Take that. And we go back to that Queen of Pentacles. That's Catherine as well. I was going to say that's Catherine, but I couldn't think why she's showing up in the recent past energy. But of course, they've put her in that forever home, Forest Lodge, where she's safe. They're getting rid of everyone and everything around her so she can live her Anma, whatever it is, whole life in Windsor, basically. And then along come Harry and Meghan to ruin it all. Just saying, that's a little suspicion that I've got there. And we know who would have planted that seed. Well, we speculate about that, I suspect. Let's move on. Pressure that Harry's under. Oops, where is the card? It's hiding under here. Pressure he's under. He wants to stop the fighting. Very obvious. How to stop the conflict that he started. He and Meghan started it all those years ago. They've been relentless bash, bash, bash at the royals, particularly William and Catherine, and the King and Queen Camilla as well. But wants to stop it now. Suits him to sue for peace now. Without apologizing, without accountability, without any of that, without seeing how much damage he's done. He personally has done, shall I say, allegedly. So it's time to stop the battle now because he wants kids educated in England. Interesting that, don't you think? His hopes and fears, and he's worried Eight of Wands that this is not going to prosper. This new scheme that has been hatched, I think a bit of a panic on here with this new scheme, as I keep saying. But the Eight of Wands is prospering, accelerating, unblocking, going forward in a very confident and powerful way. The card is in the reverse. He's worried that this isn't going to land well with the British public. I think even he might be beginning to realize that he's not that popular anymore. Queen of Cups in reverse. Interesting that that showed up as his real problem right now. Can't trade on Mummy Diana anymore. What else? No, it's just that he's worried that it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. It's not going to land well. The things that are blocking him currently from doing the security things, unpopularity, money, Prince William, those things aren't going to be able to be turned around. So what's the outcome from Harry's point of view? Is he going to succeed? Is he going to get back to the UK, set up a rival court and start swanning around these high-level engagements, charitable work, you know, showing up on the balcony, waving on the balcony, the cenotaph, all those big moments? Those are the only ones that really interest Harry and Meghan, as far as I can tell. Got the Judgment card. Possible. It's possible with that. I've been talking about trumpets blowing, and it's a bit of a comeback card, the Judgment card, because it's the second coming, the awakening, the judgment, the rising up, and getting a do-over, getting a second chance, really. So it is possible that he is going to succeed in this, even though all these cards here are pretty negative, and that Ace of Wands in reverse is pretty negative, because the Judgment is rising from the dead as well. There are two things that are clashing in my mind when I say that. The first is that he looks like he's a goner as far as the public are concerned, dead as far as the public are concerned, but that is rising from the dead. And there is also, of course, the prospect that in the not too distant future we are going to have a demise in the royal family, senior royal, and it might give him the opportunity to move back and sort of install himself while all of this is going on. So don't count him out just yet. I'm sorry that I have to say that. I don't want to say it, but I have to be honest about what's showing up on this tarot table. He's out of ideas. He's panicking. He doesn't have much in the way of resources, but there is over there with that Judgment card, there is a possibility that he can sneak back. Judgment is also forgiveness. And if Pa makes some sort of declaration, it's going to be very hard for Prince William to wind that back. Pa forgives him. Then what? Next reading. Thank you for watching this one, and we're going to check it out in the next one.